Good morning, students. Welcome to the poetry class. I am Kamala Ratnoo, Assistant Professor in English. We are studying the poem The Stolen Boat by William Wordsworth. This is the first paper entitled Poetry of BA third year. Now, as we have studied that this poem reflects upon the poet's adventure or an experience that he had when he took away a boat to a lake out of sheer sense of adventure, but as he rowed the boat he experienced something which was a bit terrible, and then he realized that maybe he made a mistake, and then he went back and he kept the boat from where he took it, and then he went to home. But for many days he had certain dreams and he was scared and afraid. So it is a poem that highlights the sense of immaturity or childishness, or we can say that mischief that is there in children, and it has been presented very beautifully by the poet. So we'll study this extract. When from behind that craggy steep, till then the horizons bound, a huge peak, black and huge, as if with voluntary power instinct, upreared its head. I struck and struck again, and growing still in stature, the grim shape towered up between me and the stars. And still, for so it seemed, with purpose of its own, and measured motion like a living thing, strode after me. So the poet is explaining his feelings, and he's saying that when he first started rowing the boat it seemed quite an adventure, but as he moved forward he witnessed a sort of a peak, a huge peak, and then he was left awestruck and he did not know what to do, and he just started trembling, and a sense of fear started gathering in his self, and he was confused, and we can say that he repented the fact as to why he took the boat and why he came there. And in this situation he is just trying to think of something to do so that he can come out from that situation. With trembling oars I turned, and through the silent waters stole my way. Back in the covert of the willow tree, there in her mooring place I left my boat, and through the meadows homeward went in grave and serious mood. But after I had seen that spectacle, for many days my brain worked with a dim and undetermined sense of unknown modes of being. Over my thoughts there hung darkness, call it solitude or blank desertion. So when the poet, when he realized that he has made a mistake by taking out the boat and just coming into the lake and rowing all by himself, then he made up his mind. After getting confused for some time, he made up his mind and he took the boat back to from where he got it, and he went to his home. But his the experience, it was not over. For many days to come he was affected by this experience, and he had dreams, and he had a sense of utter despair in himself, and he felt uneasy, and he just thinks that maybe when he was just rowing towards that peak something could have happened, or he made a mistake. That sense of fear and pain is there in his whole persona, and he was not able to shed off this experience for quite some time. So students, we see that in these lines, the poet has very beautifully described the psyche of a young child who makes a mischief but then realizes that it was not right on his part to make such a mistake, and when he realizes the mistake, he is confused, he is in despair, and he tries to make good that mistake, but that sense keeps lingering in him for a long time. So the poet has presented beautifully the psyche of a young child, and he has presented the beautiful landscape of the lake and the night scene that is there and the peak. So he has tried to draw a parallel between the outside nature and the inner confusion and despair of the little child who is rowing the boat. So, in our next class, we'll conclude with this poem. We'll study the concluding lines of this poem, The Stolen Boat by William Wordsworth. That is all for today's class. Thanks.